The final chapter before the conclusion is on the power of information and how we can use these incredibly powerful new tools to help us visualize, understand, and solve the climate crisis. And because I've run out of time, I'm not going to go into more detail on that. This is the young reader's edition of the book. There is an adult version as well. Rodale Press, mentioned earlier, did the adult version. I'm really proud of both of them. I'm really proud of this young reader's edition. Filled with graphics, very accessible. All of the profits that my wife Tipper and I would otherwise receive go to a nonprofit foundation, the Alliance for Climate Protection, a bipartisan group designed to further raise awareness of the climate crisis and the need for solving it. Now, and by the way, their website is repoweramerica.org, and I would urge you to go there and put a little video on the video wall. In closing, there's an old African proverb that says, if you want to go quickly, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. On this, to solve this crisis, we have to go far quickly. And that's a challenge. We have to use our reasoning capacity. We have to use the power of information. We have to take advantage of the new technologies and the new solutions that are available to us in abundance. But as I mentioned before, we have to nurture and develop the emergence of our will to act. And as I said at the beginning, our connection to others is really the key to some of our deepest feelings and motivations. The next generation has more at stake than do we. And they are enthusiastic about solving this. I remember when I was a boy of 13 and heard President John F. Kennedy from this great city announce that we were going to put a person on the moon and bring him back safely in 10 years. And I remember how many people said that's not possible. But then I remember how 8 years and 2 months later, Neil Armstrong set foot on the moon. And on that day, at Mission Control in Houston, among those cheering, the average age of those systems engineers was 26, which meant their average age when they heard that challenge was 18. And they were in school libraries, and they heard that challenge, and they decided to be a part of that solution. And young people now are counting on us. And the day will come, not too many years from now, when that generation will look around them in the world in which they live and ask one of two questions. And I don't know which one they're going to ask. I know which one I want them to ask. But it'll be one of the two, trust me. If they look around them and see the future the scientists have warned us about in ever-increasing alarm, with the North Polar ice cap completely gone, with sea level rising, displacing hundreds of millions of climate refugees, with mega droughts and ironically mega floods at the same time, and fires across the American West and Australia and Europe and Asia, and tropical diseases moving to the temperate latitudes, and all of the horrific, unprecedented consequences that the scientists have been trying to alert us to, some of which are now beginning to unfold. If that generation looks around their world and sees that reality, they would be well justified in asking of us, what were you thinking? Didn't you hear the scientists? Were you watching Dancing with the Stars? What's the deal? But if they look around them at a world in renewal, with millions of new jobs available in a nation and in a world that has a sense of purpose, and is going about the business of safeguarding the future of civilization with a sense of hope, if they understand that the prospects for them and each successive generation are going to be increasingly bright instead of increasingly diminished, they will ask of us, how did you find the moral courage to rise and solve a crisis that so many people said was impossible to solve? Ladies and gentlemen, we have to answer that question now, not just in words, but with our deeds. We do have everything we need, with the possible exception of political will, but in the United States of America, among all nations, political will is a renewable resource. Thank you very much.